Russia has unleashed another devastating assault on Ukraine just as Zelensky struck back, raising fears that the war is entering an even more dangerous phase. More than 145 Russian drones have rained destruction across Ukraine, leaving widespread devastation, multiple casualties, and fresh panic in several regions. Putin appears to be delivering a deadly response to Ukraine's recent attacks, with Russia retaliating after strikes targeted its prized oil infrastructure. Russia has continued unleashing deadly retaliatory strikes across Ukraine, even as Moscow accuses Zelensky of escalating the conflict through repeated provocations. Russia deployed as many as 147 long-range strike drones in a massive overnight assault across Ukraine between July 26 and July 27. The attack on Zaporizhzhia reportedly damaged several buildings and private homes, leaving behind widespread destruction across residential neighborhoods. The Russian strikes also reportedly claimed one life, while at least 2 other people were left injured in the latest bombardment. At sea, a civilian cargo vessel reportedly sank near Ukraine's Odessa coast, adding another deadly dimension to the ongoing conflict. Earlier, reports had emerged that a cargo ship was allegedly attacked by Russian missiles while sailing at the Black Sea on July 19. At least 10 crew members, including a Ukrainian maritime pilot, were reportedly killed in the aftermath of the devastating strike. Ukraine continued launching long-range drone attacks deep inside Russian territory, keeping up pressure on Moscow on July 27. Ukrainian drones reportedly struck a Russian export terminal on the Black Sea, with the attack said to have killed at least 2 people. Additional Ukrainian drone strikes were also reported from several regions located to the northeast of Moscow during the same wave. Russian oil facilities in Taganrog, the Udmurtia Republic, and Yaroslav Oblast were all reportedly targeted in coordinated Ukrainian attacks. In Udmurtia, an oil installation was hit during what Russian officials described as one of the largest drone assaults seen so far. Ukrainian drones also targeted Belgorod and several other cities in southern Russia during another overnight wave of attacks on July 27. The fresh strikes came shortly after Zelensky claimed on July 25 that Russia was mobilizing even more troops for the war. There have been new strikes on Russian oil facilities in various regions, including Tyman. The distance from there to Ukraine is 2,000 kilometers, 1,243 miles. Ukrainian drones can reach that far, specifically, the upgraded FP, Firepoint, drones. The operation against Russian military production facilities, though supporting attacks against Ukraine, is also ongoing. Our operation against Russian logistics is also ongoing. Its results are very tangible. Everything in Russia that supports a war that should have ended long ago must feel it. Feel the impact of Russian President Vladimir Putin's refusal to end the war. Putin is preparing to simply send new Russians off to war. He's disguising it with other words and signals, but he's preparing. It's important that we and our partners are able to put enough pressure on Russia so that thoughts of ending this aggression become dominant. Thoughts of peace, not of further Russian mobilization. Our long-range operations and our precision strikes are contributing to this. More and more Russians are taking notice of Putin's war, are suffering its consequences, and are coming to believe that the war should not be prolonged. We can see this. Russia wants to receive another 30,000 troops from North Korea. Preparations to receive them have been underway in the Voronezh region since June. North Korea is also preparing to transfer new ballistic missile launchers to Russia. This poses a threat not only to Ukraine. Russia is helping North Korea learn how to wage a war. It is upgrading their weapons and providing them with experience in the actual use of those weapons. All of this poses a threat to everyone in Asia who is within range of North Korean missiles. I will instruct our intelligence services to share with our partners the information we have regarding Russia's new assistance to the Iranian regime. Since early July, we have been monitoring active Russian satellite surveillance of the Gulf region and the US military facilities located there. These images subsequently end up in Iran. Moreover, there is a clear correlation between Russia's surveillance of these facilities and strikes by Iranian forces. A correlation both in the days leading up to the strikes and following the Iranian attacks, to assess the damage inflicted. On July the 19th and 20th alone, 4 air bases came under the radar of Russian satellites, 2 in Bahrain and 1 each in Jordan and Kuwait. It's clear why. Meanwhile, Russia has cancelled its annual Navy Day parade for the second consecutive year amid growing security concerns. Instead of hosting the traditional naval spectacle, President Vladimir Putin only delivered a ceremonial address to sailors in St. Petersburg. The decision comes as Ukraine continues expanding its long-range drone strike capabilities against targets far inside Russian territory. At the same time, Russia has been steadily strengthening aerial defense systems in and around Moscow to counter future attacks. Russia reportedly expanded Moscow's air defense network by constructing dozens of new Pantsir missile defense positions around the capital. Open-source researchers said around 24 new defensive towers had been built around Moscow over recent months. Researchers said the new defensive ring was established roughly 40 kilometers from central Moscow to strengthen air defense coverage. Additional Pantsir positions were also reportedly deployed near several strategic facilities across the wider Moscow region. Researchers said the new sites were positioned to protect President Vladimir Putin's residence, Vnukovo Airport, and a major oil refinery. Several Pantsir SMD air defense systems were also reportedly installed on rooftops at multiple locations across Moscow. Open-source researchers also identified two newly prepared sites believed to be intended for Russia's long-range S-400 air defense systems. Several of the new towers were reportedly built alongside existing embankments to replace older defensive positions. Researchers said the outermost defensive towers were strategically placed to help protect key electrical substations around Moscow. Reports about Moscow's expanding multi-layered air defense network first emerged earlier this year. Security was also reportedly reinforced around President Putin's Valdai residence with additional defensive towers and air defense positions. Russian officials said nearly 1,900 Ukrainian drones targeted the Moscow region over the course of a single week.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a banking dynasty meets tides of world history, intrigue, and a dash of myth?
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.